My name is Shania Julius, and today I'm going to talk about how CBT reduces anxiety. CBT is one of the most widely used treatments for anxiety, and today I'm going to explain how it works, why it's effective, and what researchers tell us about it. First, I'm going to talk about what is CBT. CBT is a structured and short-term talk of therapy. The base idea behind CBT is that our thoughts affect our emotions, and our emotions affect our behaviors. So, if we could change our thinking patterns, we can change the way we feel and act. CBT teaches people how to identify unhelpful thoughts, how to challenge those thoughts, and how to explain them with more realistic and balanced ones. Next, I'm going to talk about understanding anxiety. Anxiety often begins when a person overestimates danger and assumes the worst will happen. Like basically brainwashing themselves or putting thoughts in the head that's not really true. At the same time, people with anxiety often underestimate their ability to handle a situation. This creates a strong emotional reaction like tension or racing heart, tight muscles, or them really worrying. Because the feelings are uncomfortable, people start avoiding situations, which actually makes the anxiety stronger over time. Next, I'm going to talk about the anxiety cycle. A thought like something bad is going to happen or leads to emotion like fear or panic, which leads to behavior such as avoiding the situation. When you avoid the situation, your brain starts putting things in your mind like, well, avoiding keeps me safe, and anxiety grows stronger. CBT works by helping people break this cycle. Next, I'm going to talk about a CBT technique. The first major technique in CBT is called consecutive reconstruction. This means identifying distorted or unrealistic thoughts and questioning whether they're actually true. For example, some people might think, I'm going to embarrass myself, but after challenging that thought, they might replace it with, I can handle it, and it's normal to make small mistakes. By changing the thought, the person's emotional response becomes less intense. Slide 6, I'm going to talk about behavioral strategies. The second part of CBT focuses on behavioral strategies. The most important one is exposure therapy, which means gradually facing fear situations or studying instead of avoiding them. Another technique is behavior activation, where you take action even when you feel anxious. CBT also talks about and teaches relaxation skills like slow breathing, grounding, and muscle relaxation reduce physical symptoms. These behaviors help restrain the brain not to respond with fear. CBT is extremely well supported by the research. One major research and meta-analysis analyzed by Hoffman and colleagues in 2012, which realized and reviewed dozens of studies that found CBT is constantly effective anxiety disorders, including panic, social anxiety, and generalized anxiety. Another resource and study is by Stewart in 2009, which found that CBT greatly reduced symptoms and generalized anxiety disorders, and that improvements last long after therapy ends. These findings shows that CBT doesn't really or typically it leads to long-term change. Slide 8. Why CBT works. CBT works for anxiety because break negative thoughts patterns, reduce avoidance, builds coping skills, improve informational regularization, helps people understand their reactions instead of being controlled by them. With practice, people learn to challenge ancient thoughts automatically and feel more confident facing situations that used to fear. Slide 9, I'm going to give you a conclusion. In conclusion, CBT reduces anxiety by changing harmful thinking patterns, improving behaviors, and teaching practical coping skills. It gives people tools they can use in life, not just during therapy. CBT doesn't remove anxiety completely overnight, but it helps people manage it in a healthy and long-lasting way. My name is Shania Julius, and I just gave you some information on CBT. Thank you for listening.